PlayStation's 4 for sale, $350. One of a PlayStation 4, 6 months old, excellent condition, no controllers with PS4 because my sons are ungrateful who smash them when they lose a round of Fortnite, selling due to the fact my kids have become complete and utter self-entitled, introverted assholes who don't sleep, don't clean, barely shower, and abuse their friends, family, and complete strangers. Also, 2 sons free with PS4.
No, I'll pass. Thank you.
That's what I thought.
That's nice. Is that a local ad?
I just saw it on Twitter, and I was just like, oh, yoink. But by the looks of it, it sounds Aussie, doesn't it?
It sounds like a Penrith ad.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I literally think it's dark.
Yeah.
And I was in St Mary's when I read it.
it's such the right demographic there. Nice. All right. Well, I think it's time to ask that famous question of who the said that. We impose order on the chaos of organic evolution. You exist because we allow it, and you will end because we demand it. Who the said that?
Oh, I know that one too. When's that one?
Yeah, that one's very familiar. You exist because we allow it. Oh, what's that? I guess I'll have some thinking time.
Yes, have some thinking time on that one. We'll find out who the said that in last words at the end of the podcast. Cask? Yes, the podcast of wine.
Podcast.
All right, let's start the show. This is episode 216, and today is Thursday, the 7th of June, 2018. Welcome to the Aussie Gamers Express video game podcast. I am your host, Leekus, and here with me is my co-host and very good friend, Snoogs. How are you?
No, welcome back, mates.
Oh, thank you very much. It is good to be back, and I've got a couple of comments to say, but we'll get to that very soon. Allow me to introduce who is also here with us, which is the lovely and amazing Remutha. How are you?
I'm good. I'm half asleep.
I want some more. Inside joke there. But last and not least, it's the guy that can bench press 250 kilograms, but he chooses not to. Grejio, how are you, mate?
I'm very good. I'm pretty tired from not bench pressing 250. I'm telling you right now.
It can be tiring.
Yeah, I know. Like, I mean, it's tiring doing it, but it's even more tiring not.
The choice is hard. The
choice is heavy and hard.
That's it. I don't know where those intros come from. But anyway, before we start, here is this week's show in preview. First up, we're going to do video game discussion. We've got some pretty cool things that are coming in the way of news and video game talk. Then we'll do E3 phone home, what's that sound, and then last words. So let's get into video game discussion. Right, first of all, video game discussion.
As it shall now also be named.
Yeah, also known as. Now, I was away for the last 2 weeks, and Snoogs, you took the reins and organised the show and got it all done, and you did a fantastic job. Thank you very much for looking after it. Also, Rem and Greg, you guys did great as well. Good work.
Thank you.
But it was quite funny because I still did the editing for the show, so I was listening to the show and, you know, putting it all together, and it was quite funny that Snoogs, you just named the segments whatever you wanted.
Just went with the flow, mate.
Was it Game Talk or something?
I don't know what it was.
Yeah, it was Game Talk.
Yeah,
and
probably would have changed if you went back this week. It would have been something different.
and what's this sound?
Yeah.
I felt like I was listening and editing like the $2 store version of the podcast.
Ouch.
Just like a slight rip-off. Things that slightly changed for copyright reasons.
The Chinese copied.
Yeah.
It was exactly the same.
It was the Aussie Gamers Express.
bootleg podcasts.
Yeah, it was a bootleg version of it. But no, in all seriousness, you guys did a fantastic job. Thanks for keeping it alive while I was away. That was great.
I'm Snoggans. I'm Grejio. I'm Remutha. I'm ReMother.
Snoggans. Oh,
sorry.
That's too funny. Very funny. All right. Also, at the start of last week's show, Greg, you made a comment that you had a bone to pick with me along with Snoogs in relation to video game libraries.
Yes.
Do you want to clear that up? Because you never mentioned it.
I did. I guess I thought better of it and thought I should wait until you get back so you can defend yourself.
Okay.
But, so, when we did the Let's Play of... Actually, even when the day before, when I started putting review bits and pieces together for Street Fighter collections, I went to download it off your Xbox, your profile. And as we've had this discussion before, you just collect every free game that comes your way.
Every single one.
Whether you have any intention of playing it or not.
Correct.
Right? If you just, whatever. It's freebies. Like, yoink kind of thing. So I went to go find this game. Look, I knew exactly where it was. It was in the F section under Street Fighter, but it still took me like what felt like half an hour of scrolling to get to it. And not only that, was the next day I had to do it with Snoogs. He had to download it so we could do the Let's Play, and I had to go through it all over again while he was going. And of course, you saw before when he was, if you watch the Let's Play, he gets a little bit dyslexic with his letters. So he did the same thing with Street Fighter. He went up and down a couple of times trying to find it, and it was like it was even longer. And I'm just like, oh, this is all Lucas's fault.
Yeah, fair enough. It would be pretty hard. There's a few S games on there. But I wanted to also suggest, you also said last week you were playing a game called Hue.
Yes.
Where did you get that from?
Game Pass.
Game Pass, okay. Well,
yep.
If you had...
the compulsive need to just pick up every game, I would have had it already.
That's what I was about to say, yes, because that was a free Games with Gold game that you probably didn't get because you didn't have any intention of playing it, but then you played it and you liked it.
Yeah, that's right.
And when your Game Pass subscription ends, if you don't renew it, you're probably still going to have gold. You would still have access to that game.
I probably will, but I'm going to suggest that I'll either have finished the game or I will be stopped playing it by the time that Game Pass subscribes.
Well,
unsubscribes.
For a self-confessed tight ass, which I do believe you mentioned last week when referring to the iPhone games that you were playing, or the mobile phones you were playing.
Totally. Yeah, totally.
I would think that you would be the opposite and want to take as much free stuff as you can.
Yeah, no, it's for some reason it's a different logic with iOS games. I don't know what it is, but I have this built-in thing where I'm like, if it's a mobile game, I'm going to pay nothing for it. It actually has to prove to me that it's worth something before I go, I'll spend any red cent on the damn thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I pick them up and I put them down so quickly. Like, there's games that I download, I play once and now I never play again. And I'm like, well, that didn't deserve my money. But then there's other ones I've played for years. And I'm like, you know what? I'm happy to spend a couple of bucks on it. And even that in itself sounds terrible because you've given me years of entertainment and I'm only going to give you a few bucks. That's kind of my logic in that. Whereas with the Xbox, I don't know what, it's a different thing for me. I'm like, I don't have any need. And to be fair, I have changed slightly since having that discussion. I do have a closer look at the games that are free. And if they do look interesting, I do download them. But there's still ones that I turn around and go, legitimately, I'm never going to play that. So I just don't bother.
But what you can do think about this, Greg. This is a good, neat feature of the Xbox One, and I think the PlayStation 4 has taken this up as well. But if you say there's a bunch of free games for the month, and there are games in there that you probably don't want to play, you can actually add them to your library and hide them.
Yeah.
So that way it doesn't, like with the issue that you had with my account, you don't have hundreds of games that you need to scroll through to find the ones that you want. You can actually hide them. And if you do it as you go, it's not a chore. But if you get to where I'm at, when it's an absolute mess, I don't bother.
Well, that's a brilliant feature.
To be fair, I do it already.
And
I find that I have a bunch of games in there, and stuff like betas.
That's what I was going to say.
Like,
yes, in my
stuff like betas, you're never going to play them again.
Yeah, in my defense as well, there are a lot of betas that are on my library as well as free demos that probably should be hidden. So
yeah, I delete all that kind of stuff. Like the Sea of Thieves beta, I deleted that the other day because it wasn't. Hide it. You can't delete it. You've got it forever, even though it's a game I can't play anymore. But still,
it's. But
yeah,
you like digital tidiness.
Yes.
Whereas I don't really care.
Chaos.
Are you tidy in real life though?
I am. Yes.
Yeah, see, I'm not tidy in real life. I'm terrible.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we're just opposites like that.
It's just selective OCD, isn't it?
Yep. So I'll tell you what. If we ever live together, I'll just keep the Xbox clean. You keep the house clean, and we'll be sweet.
That sounds like a shit deal, dude.
It is.
There's Grejio. There's Grejio sitting on his ass on the couch, hiding all of the betas and demos, and there's me vacuuming. How's that fair?
Yeah, but it's making me happy and it's making you happy, so just saying.
Oh well, lucky that alternate universe isn't going to happen.
There'd be a good TV series out of that. We'd be like the new Odd Couple.
Yeah, okay, but I'd happily record that show. That'd be fun. All right.
I think it'd be good.
Let's move on to some games that we've been playing. So I've got a bit of catch up to play. So allow me to kick off here, if you don't mind. If you do, doesn't matter because I'm the boss.
And Leekus is back.
Yes. I need to assert my authority because I do remember hearing in one of the podcasts that I edited, Snoogs saying, "I'm not sure I want to give the power back."
Well, that's why he's dirty about the whole. Who the fuck said that thing? It's like it's the only bit of power he had, and you're just like, "Fuck you."
When he was just going ham with the nope. Snoogs, you can still do that. You've got the power. It's all set up on your computer. You can bring out the nope.
Yep.
All right, video games. All right, now a game that I did a few weeks ago, the last episode that I was on before this one, I mentioned that I was going to talk about Detroit Become Human, but that never happened because I was off for a couple of weeks. So I'm going to talk about it now, and I'm going to avoid spoilers, so don't freak out if anyone's listening and they're halfway through the game or haven't played it yet. So I'm not going to ruin anything. I'm just going to talk about Detroit. Now, I've had a fair bit of time now for it to settle and sort of digest everything that I've experienced in it. And there's really not a lot that I can say to discourage people from playing it. For anyone that is a fan of the David Cage series and the like Heavy Rain and what is it? Beyond Two Souls and all that. If you liked those games, then Detroit will blow them out of the water because the things like there was really bad acting in those ones, I think, and really sort of made it a little bit tacky. The bad acting's gone away. Yeah, it was really cheesy in some of it. I'll say 90% of the bad acting is gone in Detroit. It is such a well-written story, and the performances are really good as well. There's so many familiar faces that will pop up that even some of the ones that I didn't recognise, my wife did. I'm like, oh, I know that guy. He's in a TV show that I watch. It was Marcus. She recognised Marcus from, I don't know, some...
Anatomy?
What is it? Grey's Anatomy, is it?
Yeah. Well,
she does.
My wife was sitting there with me, when I was playing it. And she's like, ooh, 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 and starts, because she was watching Grey's Anatomy on the tablet.
Yep.
As I was playing Detroit on the main telly.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's him. And she's paused a part of Grey's Anatomy and said, oh, look. I don't care.
Yeah, that'd be the one, because Rachel does watch Grey's Anatomy. So she was excited to see a character that she recognised in this video game. But there's a whole bunch of other actors that you'll probably recognise. One of the bigger ones that I noticed that has a small role in the game was Lars Henriksen. Do you guys know him?
Indeed.
Definitely.
He's
played a cyborg once before.
Correct. Yes, from Alien and Aliens. He was the what was his name? Oh, it's not going to come to me.
C-3PO.
Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah.
But he was from Aliens. He's been in a few TV shows and movies as well. So it was good to notice him. But the biggest thing that impressed me about Detroit is it's one of those choose your own adventure games. But a lot of the previous games that I've played like this really only give the illusion of choice. You pretty much end up getting funneled towards the same sort of ending anyway. Detroit Become Human actually does make a difference. You can have very different outcomes. Now, my outcome in finishing it the first time, I was terrible. So naturally, my ending wasn't very fancy. But you can change things up and do things differently and get better outcomes. There's I don't know how many main endings there are. Sorry?
I was going to say, what mindset did you play it in?
Like as in, how did I make my decisions?
How did you approach? Yeah, how did you approach those decisions?
I approached those decisions like the things that happened in the game happened to me and how I would react. Okay, so if I was being treated poorly, like in real life, generally I would just pull back and just go, I'm just going to let this happen. And if it gets to a particular line, I'm going to crack it. And that's what I did. And some of my characters, well, because the theme of the game, Detroit Become Human, if you don't know, it's all about oppression against androids. It kind of has a, how do you use the word, juxtaposition with, say, the whole racism of, I don't even know what the era it was, but, the whole... when the blacks were pushed to the back of the bus and were segregated and all that sort of stuff. It feels like that kind of movement, but instead of with the colour of your skin, it's humans versus androids, and the androids are being treated like that. And there were a few circumstances where I felt that I was being pushed as an android. And I was calm about it. I was nice and just ignored it. Gives you the options of what to say. Do you want to be aggressive? Do you want to act? Do you want to just let it happen? I let it happen a little bit, but then it got to the point where I'm like, no, that's enough. I'm not copping this shit anymore. Yeah. And I pushed back. And, that probably gave me some of the results that I got. But it was so good.
Yeah,
Sorry,
the reason I asked the question is I've started playing it as well. And I'd have to say I'd probably about halfway through the story.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first started playing it, I played with the mindset of what do I need to do for the best possible outcome?
Okay, yep.
And that was the mindset for it. So I would make decisions based on what is the best outcome for this situation. I then got to the point where I went, no, hold on a second. This is more about, the first time I'm playing this, it's more about just going with it and just going with the flow. And then what I decided to do was make every response would just be an emotional-based response.
Yeah, how you felt you wanted to reply.
Yeah. So I've lashed out very early on at a few things. A few things have gone differently. I'm guessing to what it's hard to say things without spoiling different sections of it. But yeah, it actually made the change in how I played it actually made me feel a lot better about what was happening on the screen, because you do feel that sort of oppression coming through.
Absolutely.
And because it was then sort of put myself in their shoes. Well, no, this is just the response. Bang, see you later. There was a couple of times where my wife's actually sort of tapped me on the shoulder. She's like, "Oh, you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, why?" And because my breathing had changed. So she goes, "Oh, your breathing got really shallow, or it started to really speed up, or anything like this." And she's like, "Are you okay?" And it's just my body was just having these changes because I was sitting there with the headset on, in my own little world, and was just all completely and utterly drawn into it, I suppose.
Well, there was a couple of sections in the game where I felt quite conflicted, because at one moment I was thinking, these people are treating these androids so poorly. But then on the other hand, I'm thinking, you're just a robot. You're not supposed to have those kind of feelings. You're being built to do this chore. You're not a slave. You were it's like making something like a computer, like that computer is on all the time because I want to play video games on it. If the computer all of a sudden said to me, "I'm not in the mood, you're just using me to play computer games," I'd be like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. That's what you're there for."
Control D.
Yeah, but the thing is,
what is my purpose?
But the thing is that there was an error in their programming. Something happened, and they started to become is the word sentient, where they have their own thoughts and feelings. Yep. And that's just a fact that's just the humans screwed up and gave them these abilities, and that's the way it is. And if they do have those feelings, well, I'm sorry, I'm on their side. I do think that they deserve X and Y. So I pushed back as the androids, and it got messy in some of the circumstances, and some of the decisions were quite tough and hard to make. But
what did you think of the way that Connor unfolds?
Look, I loved Connor. I think Connor was my favourite character to play as. If you're not aware, you play as 3 different characters, protagonists or antagonists, however you want to look at them and however you decide to build them. But Connor is the android sent from Cyberlife to assist with the investigations into the androids that are going rogue. What do they call them again? Deviants. The deviant androids. And I loved how I felt like him, out of all of them, you really could choose how you wanted him to develop. You
came in very early into what he was going through and what he was a part of, whereas the other two you were kind of thrown in when they were already at that sort of teetering point.
Yeah, and with Connor as well, he's tasked to work with a detective. It's a little bit cliched, I don't argue that this is like the most original story ever, but it sort of is similar to other stories we've heard before, but with its own unique spin. So, like you think of Lethal Weapon, which is the feeling I got from here, where Murtaugh was teamed up with Riggs, but he didn't like him because he was a hothead, and he was basically a psychotic police officer that was on the edge of breaking. Whereas you have Hank, which is a disturbed alcoholic, used to be amazing detective, but he absolutely hates androids, and he gets teamed up with Connor and has to work with him, but he absolutely despises androids. So you get that sort of relationship building or destroying itself depending on how you play the game. And I thought their relationship was the most impressive in the game. I enjoyed it the most. I loved Connor.
Oh, good stuff. Yeah, I was the one that hit me the hardest was Kara.
Yep.
So far with what she's done and how I've gone about it.
Mm-hmm.
Slight spoiler: there's a part where you can decide to steal or not to steal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even that was very conflicting about, okay, well, if I do this, you know, even though it was an emotional response from me that I could just go and, you know, take what I needed to, you sort of work out that, no, there might be cameras around, there might be someone looking at them, you know, what's going to be the outcome, what do we need to do? And, you know, you'd sort of weighing all these things up in your head on the fly and just trying to work out what the best outcome is for that emotional response that you wanted to get. And I found that that really good. And yeah, the kind of, well, really all three characters are absolutely brilliant how they're done.
But you know what I thought the most unenthusiastic performance for the way that the actor portrayed this character, I thought it was really pathetic, and that was Alice, the kid. I don't know if she was a stand-in, the original person to play Alice, like got sick or something, because I think Alice was really, really bad, a bad child actor in the game. But that's my opinion, I guess. But everything else I thought was amazing. I love the choice. I love the graphics. The graphics were mind-blowing. The gameplay, you know, you don't go into this game because you want to play a game. You go into this because you want to experience a story and have some input into it. So,
and what a story it is, too.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
To jog your memory, his name was Bishop.
Bishop, yes, that's right. Very good. Thank you. That's Lance Henriksen. Thanks, Greg.
Yes. Mm-hmm. No worries.
I've had a bit of a, I think you'd probably call it a brush with some fame in my life this week.
Okay.
I was playing Fortnite and playing it on my good old Xbox, running around and knocked somebody down. And I've gone, oh, yep, cool, no worries. And then I saw them, so I had enough time to continue firing and actually, you know, kill them, finish the game.
Mm.
And then it come up in the news feed. Snoogs, whatever'd, I am Muse.
I am Muse?
Yeah. Yes, I am Muse is his username.
Oh, I am Muse.
Yep. And a couple of days prior to that, I'd been watching someone on Facebook live stream him playing Fortnite. It's Jason Muse.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's not Jason Muse, is it?
It is Jason Muse.
Oh, that would have been amazing for him to see Snoggans, or Snoogs, killed him.
Snoogs has just killed him.
It's just like, God damn it, can't I get out from underneath this dude's shadow ever?
Oh, wow. Because for those that don't know, Jason Muse is Jay from Jay and Silent Bob, yeah?
Yes.
And the whole Snoogs thing originates from Jay and Silent Bob.
From Jay and Silent Bob, exactly.
That is actually a pretty cool thing to happen.
So it's pretty cool, bro. It was one of those things where I'm like, ooh, I feel kind of bad now, but kind of cool at the same time.
Yeah, wow.
Why do you feel bad?
Because of the whole... I would have loved to have seen what his reaction was.
Yeah.
Probably called you a cock gobbler and kept going moving on.
Yeah, more than likely.
This son of a bitch just downed me and he's supposedly a fan of mine. Oh well, snoochie poochies.
It's probably a fat man in a coat.
Yeah.
Man, that guy's junk is rubbing on your armor.
You could have been rubbing it on his armor. Just need to teabag him a couple of times and then send in a message, dude, my junk is rubbing on the inside of your armor. It would have been fun. It would have been amazing.
Big titty mermaids just don't fall out of the sky, you know.
Thanos does. Okay.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's cool. Awesome story.
That was something I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
But
right.
I've actually been playing a lot of Fortnite this week. I'm up into the...
I believe you.
In the 40s levels
really?
for the new rounds, or the new season, whatever they call it. I've already made enough V-Bucks to get it again next season if I choose to. And they've had the 20v20 v20 back, which is actually just every time they bring it back and they tweak it a bit more, it's just more awesome, really.
Better and better and better. I haven't played it in ages. But mind you, segue, if you're done with Fortnite, I think you slightly mentioned we played H1Z1.
Yes.
Now, that's a game that's been brewing in the back of my mind from that first time that we played it. I want to play that some more.
Done. You
Because
didn't played it. You'd had enough.
Yeah, I know. Because I get sick of losing, but it sort of starts to build again, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll give it a go. I'll play again and stuff, and then I'll lose 3-4 matches in a row and be like, yeah, I'm done. But no, H1Z1, I'm pretty impressed with that, and it's kind of like when the whole Vanilla Ice Baby, and the original, which was Under Pressure by Bowie and Queen. You know, where they hear that and they go, oh, they're copying Vanilla Ice. We go, no, that was the original Vanilla Ice copied. That's what with H1Z1. Probably a lot of people out there going, oh, it's just a copy of Fortnite and PUBG. No, this one was around before either of those. And it's a bloody good game. It runs the best. Well, sorry, Fortnite runs fantastic, but this one also runs really good, but is more... like he's similar to PUBG, but actually plays really well. I'm
glad I let you run that analogy out, because I was really starting to wonder where you were going. You start talking about Vanilla Ice. I'm like, this could end badly. I don't know what the hell where he's going with this. But...
Did I make sense in the end?
Oh no, totally.
It ended. It all comes together.
Completely
You brought it home.
Yeah. Just in the beginning, I'm like going, uh-oh, where the hell's this going?
Hey, it's been 2 weeks since I've been able to talk shit like this, so hey, let me run free. I sometimes do go off into strange tangents, but as long as I rein it back in and it makes partial sense, I'm happy and feel like I've achieved something. But yeah, so I want to play some more H1Z1. That's good. Oh, and I heard that it's coming to Xbox if it hasn't already. Is that true?
It's a possibility. I haven't heard anything about it. But
I saw a tweet where somebody had it up on an Xbox, and the tweet was like, so much for PlayStation's exclusive games.
You know, that sounds like a smart-ass comment my Xbox person would say.
Yeah, I know. Look, I don't know if it's just who I'm following on Twitter, but God, there's a lot of Xbox fanboys on Twitter. Is it just like the hangout for Xbox fanboys, or is it just
Maybe.
who I follow?
I mean, Xbox and Twitter kind of got this thing going. You can now tweet stuff directly from your Xbox. And
yeah, that might be the go. But yeah, geez, there's a lot of... But mind you, there's a lot of PlayStation fanboys arguing back, and it feels so childish, but at the same time, I sometimes need to stop myself and think that they probably are children.
Look, H1Z1 isn't on Xbox at the moment, so...
Okay, so I don't know what that was. Maybe that might be an insider thing, or might be coming.
Yeah, it might be coming, yeah.
Some sort of a leak or something, but I don't know. But anyway, I'll be happy if it does. I think the more platforms all games are on, I think the better. But yeah, totally. So H1Z1 was good. I also played Far Cry 3 Classic Edition this week. I got that free on the PS4 because I've got the exorbitant, super expensive edition, I think it's called, of Far Cry 5. And they've re-released Far Cry 3 Classic Edition. Do you know, like, they called it Classic Edition and not, like, Remastered? Do you know why?
Because they haven't done squat with it.
Yeah, because it runs like shit. And that way...
It's a money spinner.
By saying Classic Edition, it's like, this is like the original, it plays exactly like it did on the PS3. Okay, granted, it probably looks a little bit better, but it's still...
TV's upscaling it.
Yeah, probably. But it's still like a choppy 30 frames a second. It's so rubbish. I don't know why they didn't make it run at 60. It's an old game. It should have worked. I don't know. But anyway, I played it. And
that means they had to spend money on it, and if they spend money on it, that's less money they make off selling it to you.
Well, they gave it to me for my super exorbitant expensive edition of Far Cry 5.
Exactly. So, you know, they made their money.
Yeah, and
cutting into that bottom line.
Giving me some value. But anyway, I saw it for $7 something on Steam, and I'm thinking about picking it up on the computer so I can play it in a decent frame rate, so I'll have a look at that. Snoogs and I played The Crew 2's closed beta.
Did I.
And you eventually got in? Did you get the invite?
Yeah, Yeah, I got it all. It was all going well. I didn't get the invite from you, man, but I just jumped on and started playing, and it didn't stop me. So I was like, sweet.
No arguments there. All right. What did you think, Greg?
Let me start by saying I like car games, but I thought the original Crew was a bit junk.
Didn't really work that well, did it?
No, look, there was a whole bunch of things I didn't like about the Crew. I mean, there were parts that I really liked about it, but there were things that I really didn't like about it. I feel like it's a little bit more of a... They've polished a few things. They've changed some mechanics around to make it a little bit more for the casual gamer as opposed to the hardcores. So in the original ones, being that it's an RPG-based game, you a bit like Need for Speed is now, you race and you win part cards, and you add these RPG-based parts to your car. And they're very generic and not very mechanically sort of minded. It's a fantasy. Anyway, you'll grind out. You'll have to grind for them eventually, because you'll reach this sort of soft limit, and then you'll have to then really grind the platinum wins to get to move up to the last 10 levels of the game sort of thing. It seems, and you have to do that for every car, right? So you get in one car, grind it out, and then move on to your next car, and then you have to do the same thing all over again, right? And you have to do this with every single car. And parts in the game were so expensive that it pretty much funneled you into this grind. A lot of people didn't like that, and rightly so. It just it slowed the game down. It made it not so fun to play because you were just spending your time grinding stupid activities like jumps, for say. Like, I don't know how many hours doing the one jump over and over again just to grind out for a part, but that's essentially what you ended up doing, kind of thing. Seems with the new one, what they've done is that element's still there. You do your events, it'll drop loot at the end of it, you pick it up, and they'll be the same sort of, it's all the same parts, you just got to grind for these parts. The difference here is now you can share your parts throughout all your cars. So what I've noticed, and what I noticed playing, what I've noticed other people doing, is they get one car within a specific style of play. So you've got all your different styles like drifting and drag racing and street racing, and so they'll pick a street racing car. They'll grind it until it's max level. Then they'll take the money that they've won, buy a better car that has the ability to go up above that level, take off the parts from the first car, dump them on the second car, so all the hard work's done. They just have to grind out that last few levels at the top there until eventually they get to the car that has the max. So it's like a Koenigsegg or something like that. It'll have the biggest, baddest level. Once they've maxed that out, they'll just grind that out, and then they can share the parts out to all the other cars. And you can instantly max out any car once you've finished one car in that.
Is that good?
In that discipline. Now, if that's good depends on who you are. The hardcores are not liking it because they're turning around saying, "Well, it's broken. We no longer have to grind anymore." There was a guy that I watched on YouTube that's sitting there complaining that he's pretty much in 3 hours in the beta maxed out all his cars. Like, he's already fit in
life.
Well, he's not, like, he's saying 3 hours. That's not exactly excessive. And I mean,
it's a beta though. Like, if someone's going to come and bitch and carry on like this much over a game, then...
but I don't disagree with his point, because what Ubisoft are expecting is you're going to pay full price for you then to max out the cars in 3 hours on the full game. Like, if that's what you can do in the beta, and he goes, and the games, the races are capped at the moment at the base level. He said, so getting parts and money, he goes, is supposed to be the hardest at the beginning because everything's low level. He goes, it's going to amp up from there. He goes, I can literally level up a car every sort of 40 minutes in this game so far. He goes, once I actually get past the level cap in the game, he goes, that's going to get faster and faster to do.
Yeah,
he goes,
you can't really judge that portion of the game, though, by a beta.
Maybe you can, maybe you can't.
You can if you want to. It's a free world, but what I'm saying is that...
my experience with Ubisoft games is that's exactly what they do. They give you a piece of the game, and then all the mechanics are there. The game doesn't change out of the beta. Like, you look at The Division, it was just more of the same. You look at Wildlands, more of the same. This is For Honor, more of the same. It's going to be the same with this as well.
What about the gameplay? Tell me about that.
All right, so look, it's super arcadey, so don't expect a racing sim.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. But if you like that kind of thing, and to be fair, I like sims, but I also have a place for arcade racing.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's stupid. It's designed to make you look like a badass behind the wheel without actually having any skill whatsoever. Right?
So, and don't bother trying to use a steering wheel.
Yeah, no, nothing. There's no logic to racing.
Properly,
There's no logic to racing. So, I think. Look, it looks cool. The modification of the car, I didn't really get into much because a lot of it's locked off. So I don't know how wild and wacky you can make your cars. That was kind of part of the appeal for the first crew that I had, was these cars, you could literally modify them into crazy, wacky things, like turn a Mini Cooper into a monster truck kind of thing. That's all sort of, it wasn't very well displayed in the beta. I hope they've added to it on top of what they've had in the original one. But racing-wise, it's still fun. Like, I didn't mind racing it. The new vehicles, like the boats and the planes, much of a muchness for me. I mean, I buy it for the cars. I don't really buy it for the boats but I like the addition of how many vehicles they've put. So they've got like jet boats, offshore power boats. There's lots of different disciplines. It's not just boats and one type of plane. There's like different disciplines within it. It would have been really easy to go, we've got a whole bunch of car disciplines, and then let's just throw in one group of planes and group of boats, and voila, you got some mix and match here. But I think they've done a really good job at putting a lot of different disciplines and trying to create this world of motorsport. I'm interested to see how the storyline goes, because the original one wasn't very good, and from what I can tell here, it's going to be lacking a lot. There wasn't anything that really jumped out at me that's saying this is going to be a powerhouse story either.
Yeah, and with that, like, I'm of the opinion, if you're not really going to have anything that's groundbreaking with a story, like, do you maybe just leave it out?
That and the gameplay has to be super solid.
Mm.
And to be fair, like I said, it's fun, but I don't think it's solid enough to just carry it by itself.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have a funny feeling. Look, after playing the beta, I'm not going to buy the game, because I have a funny feeling I'm going to treat it the same way I treat the original crew. Was I got through the storyline, and then the only time I'd play it after that is like in the beginning. It was for the special time, like timed events where I can make stupid amounts of money. That was the only way you can make enough money to buy another car. That was really annoying. Or when I was playing with you guys, like, we'd all just decide, what game can we all play?
Yeah,
let's play the
fun.
crew, just for fun. That's really the only time I played it after that. So I'm not rushing to buy it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, look, I feel the same way, probably for different reasons, but I feel the same way.
Yep. Don't get me wrong. I think good effort, but like I said, I don't think it's not far enough removed from the original crew to warrant going nuts for it. And to be fair, I was looking at side-by-side comparison of the graphics. There's not a great deal difference there either.
No, I didn't think so. It didn't blow me away.
In some instances, I think they've gone backward. There's some things they've gotten better with, so like reflective surfaces. They've done they've actually, I won't even say they've done a really good job. they've just done a job that's actually adequate for the time we're in now. Because the original crew wasn't. It was backward. Like, their reflective surfaces were terrible for the time that it was brought out. But some of the other textures, I think they did a lot better in the first one. Not so good this time around. So, but that might just be, robbing Peter to pay Paul in one way or another.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've got some news that I'd like to share. And I don't know your stance on this one, Greg. I'd like to see what you think about a new Diablo game being in the works. Have you heard about that?
I haven't heard about this.
Are you you're like original Diablo, aren't you? Is that correct?
No, not really. I haven't exactly been a big Diablo player. I'm aware of it. It's clearly a powerhouse. If you don't know it, then you're not really a gamer. But it's not one that I really solidly put any effort or time into. But look, I'm always interested to see what it brings out and whether it's got enough to actually draw me in to maybe give it a good crack.
Yeah, well, look, I recommend Diablo 3 on current generation if anyone hasn't tried it and they're interested in giving it a go, because I absolutely love Diablo 3. That was my first entry into the Diablo games. I didn't play the original ones. But apparently there's a new one in the works, and it makes sense. Diablo 3's been out for quite a while now, and it's had a ton of expansions added to the game. But the thing is, I'm not quite sure about this, because the information that we've got, it says that there's been a job listing added to Blizzard's website, Blizzard's who make Diablo, showing that they're hiring a designer for a new Diablo game. Now, I don't know how accurate that is, whether they're hiring an artist to continue work on the Diablo franchise, or if they're hiring an artist to work on a new Diablo game. I think that's a little bit presumptuous, but it makes sense. It feels like the right time, and coming up to E3, it would be a good time for them to announce. But I've also heard a lot of, it's all rumour and innuendo across, social media, that Blizzard probably wouldn't announce this at E3. They'll probably hold their own BlizzCon, I think it is, where they will announce these sort of things. So I don't know if we'll hear about it next week at E3 or if it'll be a little bit later on in their own thing. But if this news is accurate and it is what they're doing, I'm super excited because I love Diablo 3. And even just talking about it makes me want to play it again, because that's a golden game, man. I platinumed that on the PS4 because I absolutely loved it. Snoogs, did you ever get into Diablo?
No, you've tried, my brother's tried, and it just didn't really do it for me.
Not your thing. Yeah, well...
No, unfortunately.
No one's perfect. Also, and I mentioned this piece of news with a little bit of caution, because I know what happens when you talk about that big company that starts with N. Sometimes, things get deleted and copyright strikes start rearing their heads. But I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna say it, and hopefully we don't get assassinated.
Napster's gone, mate.
No, not Napster. Not Napster. It's
Naggers? We're going to talk about naggers? Those people are really annoying.
Nintendo is who I'm talking about. Whoa. Guys, I think I'm being swatted. What's going on? Let's go,
There's
Pikachu.
There's a helicopter over your house, dude. I can see it from here.
Yeah, that's it. I got 5 stars
Big
automatically. Let's go Pokemon, Let's Go Pikachu, and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee has been announced by Nintendo, and more information is going to be coming next week in for Nintendo's E3.
Hang on.
Yeah,
They've fired Pikachu and Eevee? Is that what you're saying?
Let's go. Come on, out. Get out.
Let's go. Get out.
Let them go.
No, quite the contrary. There's going to be 2 versions of this game, which will be coming out November, 16th of November this year for the Nintendo Switch. And Pikachu is going to be the front man of one of them, and Eevee is going to be the front man of the other. Kind of like the 3DS and Game Boy versions, where you had blue and red and all that sort of stuff. It's going to be like that, Eevee and Pikachu. But what it looks like is something that Pokemon fans for a long time have been asking for, and that's a fully fledged Pokemon game on a console, as opposed to only having them on their handhelds. It looks like they're taking a few of the elements from Pokemon Go, where you can throw your like to catch the Pokemon, as opposed to battling them. I think you're throwing the balls or what have you, but it looks amazing, and it's 2-player. You can play 2-player as well, so I'm really excited to play this with my daughter, and she's really excited for it as well. So if this does come to fruition and becomes is what we're expecting, a fully fledged Pokemon game with a couple of cool neat things from Pokemon Go, and being it on the Nintendo Switch, you could probably play it out and about, maybe like Pokemon Go as well. I think it could be good. Knowing Nintendo, I'm pretty sure they'll handle it correctly, and it should be good. But Nintendo aren't infallible. They're just, most of the time they are. But
so the Joy-Cons on the Nintendo Switch.
Yes.
Do they have a wrist strap on them?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm just getting this image of using the Joy-Con to have to throw out the ball.
Yeah, which is how you do it.
Throw
Yeah,
Joy-Cons through the TV.
Yeah. Well,
Like
there's
days.
it's an optional wrist strap that you have to put it on though, so that's the thing. But yeah, you do have that option there. We don't want the same Wiimote disasters with broken LCD screens and stuff.
Do you think maybe Nintendo has like a shell company that has bought into all like TV makers?
Yeah, to replace them with it.
And they're just like, let's just make remotes that are going to get chucked at the screen, and our profits will go up. Our stocks will go up massively in TV land.
Nintendo are a bunch of crafty people. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, that they've got shares in LG or something like that. And they get a kickback whenever they have to replace
broken
a
screens
TV.
come in.
Yeah, that's why they ask a questionnaire when you go in to buy a TV. Are you buying this new TV because your old one got smashed by a Nintendo Switch controller? Yes, I am. Cha-ching! And Nintendo thanks you. So anyway, that should be coming. Last week, you guys talked about a whole bunch of mobile games.
Mm-hmm.
While I was doing the editing, I downloaded all of them and played them. So I've got a couple of quick comments on all of them. So the first one that I tried was Colorblind. Grejio, you were talking about that one.
Yep.
That is a fantastic game, but as you said, that the ads are a bit invasive, that's now deleted off my phone already.
Yeah, see, I did say that.
Yeah,
it is invasive, and it will be a breaking point for some people.
Yeah, for me,
Definitely.
I thought this is a good game, but it is not worth putting up with all of those ads. Because if you die and you get an ad, and then you finish a level, you get an ad, and it's go away. Good game, and if you want to buy it for the $5 or whatever it is, it'll be worth it if you spend the time, as you said. But yeah, for me, got rid of that.
Yep.
Jurassic World Live. Now, I tried that one as well. And that is just a blatant copy of Pokemon Go, yeah?
Yeah, well, can you remember what you said to me on, I think it was Sunday?
Oh, yeah, with this stupid comment.
It took me a second to realise if you were serious or not.
How much of a fucking rip-off is this game? It even uses the same map. Looks exactly the same. It's got the same streets as Pokemon Go.
Which wasn't original in itself.
Well, because it's real world. It's just where you are. I was at home. It's the Google Maps. Yeah, that was funny. But Jurassic World Alive, it's good. I'm still playing it, but I don't really understand it. It's got microtransaction. This one has a subscription, which is $15 a month.
Yes.
So I can fly my drone. You said instead of throwing Pokeballs, you fly a drone that shoots out the darts to collect samples of dinosaurs so you can make your own. But to get like an extended range so you can pick off dinosaurs that are too far away, you got to pay this subscription of $15 a month. Sure, you get more than just that one little feature, but that's a bit rich. I thought it was like pay once and you get this cool stuff, but I'm not paying a subscription for a game like that. No way. And especially one that costs that much. But you can get away with playing it for free.
That's a very hefty subscription.
Oh, is it what? Oh.
Well, when you think about it, that's more than a Netflix subscription.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like, come on, guys, wake up.
It's more than Xbox Live. It's more than PlayStation Plus. It's anyway.
Yep.
Love Balls. Now, Love Balls, they've basically completely copied the aesthetic of Snipper Clips from the Nintendo Switch, but it's a different gameplay mechanic though altogether, and that's a really good game.
How is it? Like it's so good.
It is.
Even I downloaded it and played it this week. So.
Yeah. The only thing I can say though, do you find it really easy though?
Yes and no. Like I said last week, the only reason that I don't find it easy is because while playing it on my phone, the screen being so small, it's very hard to draw accurate lines.
Yes,
so you can end up
true.
You struggle to get 3 stars.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I find that it's very easy to work out what you need to do, but slightly trickier to execute.
That's right. I know what I need to do. I just can't fucking do it.
But Love Balls, the ads are a little bit intrusive, but it's not as bad as Colorblind.
Yeah.
And it's a good enough game to power through it, and I'm even contemplating paying for it because it is a good game. Love Balls is good. So
yeah, Love Balls, good game. Get on tablet.
Absolutely. And then it wasn't on the podcast, I don't think, but Rem, I think you mentioned in our Discord channel that you're addicted to Jigsaword.
Yes, that is a good one. Well, I mean, I've been playing a fair bit of it myself lately, and it has its issues, but go on.
Well, I was just going to say, as am I. I've been playing quite a fair bit of Jigsaword as well. That's not a bad game. It's basically a crossword
jigsaw puzzle, yeah.
Yeah. And it's free, and the ads, you can deal with the ads. They're not overly intrusive. That's a good game. I'd loved the fact that you guys went through a bunch of mobile games because it gave me stuff to find and play. It was really cool.
The only thing I will have to say about it, unfortunately, to its detriment, is that whoever designed the game seems to have had a few technical issues as well as a few errors in their knowledge base or spelling.
Factual issues.
Oh, what have you run into?
There's a few puzzles. So, like, there was one, the theme was German cars.
Right.
And some of the brands that it brought up were not German.
Holden.
Like Bentley or,
Aston Martin.
I mean, I don't want to give the rest of the puzzle away here, but there's some issues like that. Also, today I was coming across there was a couple of words that were misspelt, which makes it really difficult to solve.
Oh, well, I'd imagine it would, considering that's the main
purpose
way
of the game.
Yeah, that's right. Oh,
yeah, so, be aware of that. But despite that, it's still enjoyable and it's still a challenging game.
Yeah, I agree. So thanks for sharing that.
There was one that you showed me, and I pretty much summed it up. I went, this is someone that's created this game who is from a English-speaking country who's then tried to work out what their words are for their puzzle in English, and it hasn't quite translated properly.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I think is going on sometimes.
Like parts of a car. Headquarter.
Yes. Headquarter.
I don't know what a part of a car headquarter is.
That's the part where you sit.
I said, is that the top half of the car where your head is?
It's the quarter of the car where your head sits.
Yeah, I've not run into any of the weird stuff yet.
It's obviously later on.
Yeah. I'll let you know if I catch some of it next week, maybe.
Keep playing it. Keep an eye out.
Will do. All right.
Could be a new segment.
That's
Jigsaw words.
That's basically my week and news. What do you guys got outstanding?
So we started talking about Fallout 76 last week.
Oh, yes.
So I did a little bit more digging to see what I can find out, both in lore and anything else I could sort of find out around it, sort of thing. So I will start with a retraction, actually. Last week I discussed the song, which was John Denver's Country Road.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I made my comments about that song, I actually got confused with another John Denver song. So my comment about it being in Colorado is going to be completely off because that's a completely different John Denver song that I was thinking of. So I made that mistake. Not that I think anyone that listens to us are serious John Denver fans and picked it up, but I'll just say that right now, right?
I don't actually know who John Denver is.
Wow. Okay, I'm not even going into that. Anyway.
I assume he sings that song, Take Me Home, Country
That's the one.
Yeah, that's about all I know from what you just said.
Having said that, the song does give a solid clue because in the lore and throughout all of the Fallouts made so far, you can find some reference to Vault 76 in the game. You just have to find the right terminal or document to read, but every game has a reference to it. So the song Country Road talks about West Virginia, which is where Washington, D.C. is, right?
They've already been there.
Yes, so they've already been there, unfortunately. But Vault 76 within lore is in the D.C. area. Now, it will probably be in an outlying part of the area, so therefore we're not sharing the same map, or at least not all of it. We might see some similarities between Fallout 3 and this one in map, like locations. I don't think we'll see the exact same map because it is a different area. But even if we do, it will be a very different map because through little bits of, once again, lore and some of the little details in the teaser, Vault 76 through lore is what was known as a control vault. So those that play the game know that most of the vaults were used by Vault Tech as a way to create and experiment crazy social experiments on the inhabitants of their vaults. Just by changing one little thing, watching the whole thing fall apart or thrive, or everyone just murder each other or whatever, right? But the control vaults were vaults that were just given to people, and they didn't screw with them. They worked the way they were supposed to, so that then they had a baseline to compare all the other vaults off. Vault 76 was scheduled to open 20 years after the bombs dropped during the Great War, which happened in 2077. So it was supposed to open in 2097. Now, just to give you an idea of where that sits in the timeline, the original Fallout game was set in 2161. So that's a good, 70-odd years, roughly?
Yeah.
Roughly between the events of what Fallout 76 will be and the original Fallout. So this actually makes it a prequel. There's a few other things around that which then will define that the Fallout world that we are about to enter is very different to what we've seen before. There won't be any super mutants because the FEV, the forced evolution virus that creates the super mutants, hasn't been created yet. That's actually created in the first Fallout game. So therefore, there won't be any super mutants. There won't be any sort of aspects of animals we've seen that have been affected by the FEV. So that'll be interesting to see how that all plays out.
They may introduce some sort of animals or whatever that may have died out before those games started. Yeah,
exactly. And because it's so close to the bombs are dropped, now there is a little thing in the trailer that has a date, October 27th, 2102, which is actually 5 years after the vault was supposed to open. So the story might be why there was a delay in the vault opening, or something around that. So there's another piece of the puzzle we will probably find more out at E3. Some things I can definitely won't be in Fallout 76. There'll be no afros, no disco, no gun-laden muscle cars, and no jive.
1976.
Yeah, because this isn't a Fallout game Interstate 76. Just so anyone confused about that, I can tell you unequivocally that's not what's happening.
Okay, that's good to know. Well, I'm really excited for it. I enjoyed 4, but for my own reasons.
Yeah. Look. I'm a little excited. I'm hoping that they fix what I thought to be problems with 4. It's a different part of Bethesda that's dealing with this game, from what I can tell. It's not a group that's done a Fallout game before yet, because it's not Obsidian. Obsidian have nothing to do with it this time. And the other group that did 4, they're not a part of it either. So it'll be interesting to see how what their take is on it. I know people are talking about there's going to be like a Rust type element to it, but until there's no confirmation of that. So
all right, well, let's just play a little role play here, and let's fast forward. Let's pretend E3 has just happened, or we're watching the Bethesda announcement, and they come up on stage and say, Fallout 76, play it with your friend. What do you think about that?
I'm not totally opposed to it, because essentially that's not really my issue with 4. Like, look, let's take my favorite of the Bethesda new versions of Fallout. Technically, my favorite is New Vegas. All right. Mm-hmm. So if I had a multiplayer version, I'd be really happy. Mm-hmm. Like, I'd be happy with that. At least the ideal of it anyway. Practice doesn't always work out so well, as we've found out with other multiplayer games of late. There's stuff that looks really good on paper, and in principle, it looks awesome, but the moment that you put human element in it, it goes south real quick. If I get a Fallout game where I'm just going to get trolled all the time, I'm not going to play the damn thing, because I'll just get jack of it real quick.
Well, yeah, I don't want a multiplayer thing, but I think I'd be very happy to have a co-op ability, to be able to jump in your friend's game and do some survival stuff together. I think that'd be great.
Yeah. I could live with that. As long as the skill tree goes back to the way it used to be, I'll be happy.
Convoluted.
Look, just takes a little bit of effort to understand.
All right. What else have you guys got? Any other things outstanding you want to talk about?
I have some news on Halo.
Halo?
Yep. Nothing really game related. There's a new comic book series that's come out.
I did hear about that, yeah.
It came out today. It's called Collateral Damage. It's by Dark Horse Comics. It's pretty much about Master Chief and Blue Team, who are the team that's with Master Chief in Halo 5 Guardians in the campaign, which I've just started playing this week as well. Anyway, they're sent to the upshot of the whole thing is Master Chief and Blue Team are sent to a Voltai colony where the Covenant is digging up this ancient, powerful secret. Clearly got to stop them. Halo guff. The usual cool stuff that makes Halo good. So, on a side note, yes, started playing Guardians just today, actually. I'm really enjoying it.
But?
I think, but there is a but. Since Bungie has moved away from it, and 343 have taken over. I think 343 have done a wonderful job. I'll start by saying that. They've done a wonderful job by not murdering the brand, not murdering the law, being really faithful and trying really hard to move it into a new future without destroying its past. My problem is I just don't give a toss about the new bad guys. These Forerunner guys, even playing 4, I played it and I just felt like, I don't care. So that I'm struggling with, but the thing I think that's putting me through is the campaign is really interesting because it's, while the Forerunners are a part and they're the protagonists of the story, it's more about Master Chief and Blue Team versus Locke and Osiris Team, and how they're going to come and clash and butt heads along the way, which I think is a little bit more of an interesting story. So, but I'll be happy to see how it all plays out. I'm having fun. It's old school.
Yeah, no.
Halo
Opening though.
Yeah, the opening's pretty hectic.
Yeah.
I will give you that.
When they drop in, it's just
Guns, grunts, going everywhere. It's good. It's good.
Well, I've started playing a bit of an older game this week as well. Telltale game, The Wolf Among Us.
Oh, I still haven't played that. How's it going for you?
I'm really loving it. So it's based on the DC Comics. I think they're called Fable.
Yeah, Fables.
Which is pretty much your favorite fairy tales or your fables that you sort of knew growing up, with a bit of an adult twist on it. So all the characters were forced to leave the fairy tale realm and move into
Shrek Swamp.
into this realm, and then wear a glimmer so that they looked human. And then sort of the game sort of takes off to the point, the big bad wolf, which is who you play. He's the sheriff that looks after all these people, keeps them in line, keeps them in check, and someone's going around killing certain different ones. And it's...
Oh! I just had an epiphany.
Cool story, actually. An epiphany?
I just realised why his name's Bigby.
Yeah.
His name's Bigby Wolf, right?
Yeah.
Big B Wolf. Big bad wolf.
Yeah.
Hey!
It's like a thunderclap. Bam. Just hit him.
Big B. Oh, there you go. Lovely.
Yeah.
What are you up to in it?
So far I've done... I'm halfway...
You're sorry? You what? Halfway what?
Halfway through the second chapter.
Okay. I think I've played the first one. I think that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, so... again, just sort of going with the flow in regards to the decisions you make. Unlike Detroit, the Telltale games give you an illusion of choice, but it still sort of goes down the same straight road. But yeah, I'm just enjoying the story, and I really do enjoy the Telltale visuals as well. Just that sort of moving comic book feel. Yeah,
nice.
I really enjoy it. Yeah.
Well, hopefully if you finish that one, you can convince me to play it. I don't know why. I enjoyed it the first bit, but I don't know why. I've just never gone back to it.
Mm.
I bought it too, and I think they ended up giving it away.
Go for a bit or something, yeah.
All right. Anything else?
I do have a couple of other bits of news and bits and pieces.
Spin them out, boy.
Okay, well, Valve says it will no longer police what's on Steam unless it's illegal or trolling.
Oh, that's going to be great.
A few follow-up pieces that have been written in regards to this, with the headlines, why this is doomed to fail, blah, 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 blah. Eric Johnson has clarified and expanded on the company's reasoning. Valve will allow everything to be published published on the Steam store, so long as it isn't illegal or straight up trolling. There's no real outline of what they do as classify as trolling, but there was a game that was released recently which they turned around and called the developer a troll because it was a school shooting simulator.
Oh.
Which is very much in poor taste.
Bad
Yeah,
taste.
I did see that. Yeah.
There's no a kind of this new move goes against what's already in place for Valve to have your game put on Steam. Things like pornography, contrary beliefs, political natures. They can't be too full on with that sort of stuff. But there's been no real further info. It's just that, hey, if it's not illegal, put it up.
There's going to be a lot of those simulator games coming out.
Yeah, I'm the weird one in me sort of goes, okay, now what sort of fucked up stuff are people going to put up on there?
Dear. It's going to be like...
Just to see.
To be fair, like we already see some messed up stuff going up there, and it wasn't as free and loose last time. Like what was the game where you were the penis and you had to try and screw the butt of the other penis? What's that game called? Like that
Genital jousting.
Yeah,
that game is fantastic, and I won't have you speaking poor of it.
I'm not speaking poor of it. I'm just saying it's not exactly in good taste. It's funny and it's fun. Right? It's not in good taste. You can't say it's in good taste.
It's hilarious.
My girls are starting to get really involved and wanting to play video games and whatnot. And there was a game released on the PS3 and the Xbox 360, which was a Barbie game, made by Mattel, and it went along the lines of some Barbie movie that was released about the same time. Anyway, I couldn't find it on the PlayStation Store. It's not on Xbox backwards compatibility, and it's not on the Australian or the US PS Store. So I thought, I'll go and have a look, see if it's on Steam. So sure enough, I just typed in Barbie on Steam. The first game that came up was a game where the premise of it was your mum leaves and you're a little girl with two Barbie dolls and you have to figure out how sex works.
Oh my God.
Oh dear.
That was the first thing to come up. I'm like, really, people? Come on.
So what's it like?
No, I didn't.
We're doing a Let's Play next week.
Go on, you bought it.
I didn't. I just looked at it and went, oh, really? And it didn't have the one I was looking for anyway, so that made it a bit more annoying. But speaking of deviant things that are out there as well, I've got another one about the special edition that is being released for Inside.
Okay.
So Playdead has partnered up with a company that's making a mysterious special edition for Inside. Now, this special edition is worth $375.
What?
To be fair, I'm not that shocked since you broke me last week with Leekus edition.
That's true.
I'm like $400.
So,
yeah, whatever.
That's reasonable.
So what it comes with a physical copy of the PS4 version of Inside. It also comes with Steam codes for both Inside and Limbo, and then it's got $375 as well as high shipping fees. Now, because this company that they've joint with to make this special edition is called Real Doll. Now, would you like to take a stab at what Real Doll manufactures?
Sex dolls.
Sex dolls.
What?
Please tell me they're making like one the big blob thing. A life-size big blob thing.
Everyone, so Play Dead, Real Doll, and I Am 8-Bit, they're all very, very cagey about what's involved in it. You've only got, if anyone listening to this, it's too late. You've missed out. I'm sorry. Anyone here that wants to do it, you've only got till tomorrow, June 8th, to pre-order the special edition.
What's the
After
website?
that, it's gone.
What's the website?
I don't know.
Well, you're no
I don't have
help.
one here.
Purchase.
I don't have one here.
No.
So no one actually knows what it actually is in this collector's edition. It's just rather expensive and
Suspect as hell.
suspect
Priciest
as
lucky
hell.
dip ever.
Yes. Oh, it can be taken so many ways. Phrasing.
Phrasing. I mean, with the title of a game called Inside, it's already bad.
It's going to be a lucky dip then.
Yep.
All right. Anything else?
People keep an eye out for some streams this week of a game called Memory of Mars. I've just started playing it, and it's kind of a strategy, survival, first-person shooter game, all kind of rolled into one. It's online, and so far it's actually pretty cool. So keep an eye out.
Cool.
I don't really have much
Sounds
to go
good.
on at the moment. It's fun. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think, unless Rem, did you have anything that you want to say for the week?
My gaming's been pretty lackluster this week, as usual. But I was wondering whether you guys had heard all the controversy about gamers being blamed for NBN
Oh, yes.
overload.
Yes, I did hear about that, and then they brought out some statistics saying that, check this out, and they showed us the graph of the bandwidth being used by games, like games like Dota 2 and Fortnite and all that sort of stuff, and they're really quite minimal compared to Netflix, Stan,
Exactly.
Foxtel, and all that sort of stuff. And I think they backflipped on his comments, didn't he? Saying, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Oh, he was completely proven wrong. So for anyone who doesn't know this story, Chief Executive of the NBN, Bill Morrow, basically suggested that gamers have predominantly contributed to the wireless congestion problems across the country. Basically, long story short, it was completely disproven, and even the NBN's website itself states that gaming online uses very little compared to audio streaming and HD streaming.
Absolutely.
Basically, Mr. Morrow has not got long left in his job. Now he's being completely disproven by the subject.
Yeah, considering
And all we
that.
can say for that man right there is, don't let it hit you on the way out, buddy.
But
Pretty much.
that is so naive to make a comment like that, because even people like us, we're not a big executive, but we know that online gaming uses bugger all bandwidth, because we used to do it on ADSL dial-up.
Yes.
It worked. It not dial-up. Sorry, ADSL. It worked fine for me with 5 megabit downloads. I've now got 100 megabit downloads. It's not going to be using more because I've got a faster and more bandwidth allowed to me. Still going to use the same, which is not very much.
Yeah, exactly.
After the initial download, games will use bugger all for the actual online connectivity. So it was a stupid comment to make. I don't know if he deserves to lose his job for it, but it sort of does destroy a little bit of credibility with him, though.
It does, yes.
There's also his suggestion to how to fix the problem. I also found rather offensive as well.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that?
So he suggested he was going to throttle people who excessively use their bandwidth. So essentially,
Basically capping people
he was gonna start capping people
during peak hour.
During peak hours, and then anyone else that wanted to use excessive amounts would then have to do it in off-peak times. Now, I don't know about you, or anyone else, I know what internet plan I'm on. I know why I picked it. It was because it didn't have caps in it. And I'm pretty sure the first people to cry foul are going to be the providers, because there's a whole bunch of people that turn around and go, well, if you're going to cap me anyway, take me off this plan that says unlimited and halve my monthly subscription fee.
Yeah.
So, and then I thought, well, no, let's be fair. If we're going to apply this rule, let's apply it to everything. And considering I'm sure he's a fairly well-off man with many houses, he can have his housing buying limit throttled as well. So he's not allowed to buy any houses until everyone else has bought a house. So I figured his logic can go a long way.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I'd probably have to have my fuel allowance, because there'll be a few people that would need to catch up with me. But hey, look, choice of owning a V8.
Yeah, that's it. It's good enough for the goose. It's good enough for the gander.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, what a tool. But anyway, all those people having their Netflix and chilling, eating up all our bandwidth.
I know, right?
All right.
I blame Game of Thrones.
There's only so many episodes of that, though. All right.
This is true.
All right, well, let's move on to the next segment we've got for this week, a special one. It's called E3 Phone Home. All right, so while we sit here in our Aussie homes without the provisions to get our asses across to LA for E3, we'll be checking out the live streams of E3 from the comfort of our lovely, cushy homes. While we do so, we'll be crossing our fingers that our wildest E3 hopes and dreams come true. So let's talk about that. I've got a list here in front of me of the games that I'm hoping are going to be announced, some more so than others. Some have been already announced that they exist, some have been leaked, and some I'm just hoping. So I'll just quickly punch through this list, and you guys tell me if any of these are of interest to yourselves as well. First on the list, do I even need to tell you what number one is?
Splinter Cell.
Splinter Cell. Do we have... What about you, Rem? Do you think it's Splinter Cell?
Well, yeah, because I think you've told us previously that it comes in above The Last of Us.
I've probably told you guys more than you care to hear. You're absolutely correct. Number one is Splinter Cell. If I don't hear about a Splinter Cell this E3, I will walk away upset no matter what other games are announced.
I at E3.
I think they're going to have you covered this year, bro.
I hope so.
I was looking through some sort of predicted solid stats, and it seems like a new Splinter Cell is pretty much on the cards this year.
I hope so. But anyway, so there's Splinter Cell. Next one is Gears of War 5. I'd be excited to hear about that one. I've heard that's been leaked or rumoured at least to be something that's going to be announced. Let's Go Pikachu. We know about that one. I am excited for that. Anthem.
Yes.
I think we might get a little bit more from it, but that's been delayed till next year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hoping we see a little bit more gameplay and a little bit more of an explanation on how it's going to work. It's I don't know. It's a strange game that I think I really want, but I'm a little bit worried about it because I don't know what's going on. I don't know what it's going to be. It looks a little bit Division Destiny style game, but I'm hoping it's got a lot of its own traits as well. Here's one that a general one. I'm really hoping that Microsoft bring the heat. I want Microsoft to smash this one and bring it home. I don't know how they're going to do that, but I really want them to.
Yeah, to be fair, they are talking a big game.
Yeah.
And then they're not saying anything about what they're showing. All they're saying is it's going to be big. Yeah. And I like I said, I was going through this list of stuff that's been predicted and pretty much on the cards, and I'm looking at it going, nothing is listed for Microsoft as a first party, and I can kind of guess what third party stuff they're going to show. But yeah,
I'm really hoping that they're just going to blow us away, and the kind of that feeling when they, they announced backwards compatibility. That was exciting. I'm just hoping they top that and make it something that we're not expecting. Put Xbox back on the map. It deserves it, because the Xbox is a brilliant platform that just needs an injection of life. And
yes,
I'd really like that to happen.
Xbox One XL with a 2 terabyte.
One X with a 2 terabyte.
One XL. Yep.
Oh, One XL. Oh, if they do that. That'll piss me off.
I will walk out. I'll turn it off. I don't care what's coming next.
Yeah. Diablo 4, we've already talked about that, but I'll be keen to hear about that, or whatever they call it. Fallout 76, I'm really excited for. You gave us a really good insight as to what it may be revolving around, Greg. That was really interesting to hear. Halo 6, while I'm not gunning for it, I'll be excited to see it if it does come up. Last of Us 2 gameplay. Once again, I wouldn't even be upset if Last of Us 2 didn't even show up at E3. I'm fine with that, because
it's definitely on the slate. So.
Yeah, because I'm sort of at that position where if it's there, I'll watch it, but if it's not, then that's less spoilt for me. You know what? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I'm the sort of person that, while I don't want to see much about it because I want to experience it firsthand, I won't be able to help myself. It's kind of like if it's a bar of chocolate and it's got 3 slices on it and it says 1 serving is one of those blocks, I'm going to eat all of it because it's there. You've got to love my analogies. Yeah, whatever. Bloodborne 2. Bloodborne 2 is on my list. I'd be excited for that. I really enjoyed the first Bloodborne. Days Gone. We've already seen quite a fair bit of gameplay. I think I would like to hear a little bit more about maybe the story, maybe some character development, find out how that's going to all work. I think we've seen enough of the game. I don't want too much of it spoiled. Another big one, which I'm hoping is announced, is Borderlands 3. I'd be really keen on that. I know that there's been some...
I think you're going to be disappointed on that front, I think.
You don't think Borderlands 3 is going to make it?
No, there will be Borderlands talk, but it won't be Borderlands 3, I don't think.
You thinking an offshoot game, or...?
No, it's going to be a Game of the Year edition. There was a Korean... what's it called? Ratings board has had a leak saying there's a new Game of the Year edition coming out for PS4 or something like that.
Well, the original Borderlands isn't on the PS4 and Xbox One yet. Only Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel. So that may be for the original Borderlands, but it may be a pre-order bonus for Borderlands 3.
Maybe, but I have a friend who is a mad Borderlands fan, and he was the same as you, but just this week he's told me no, it's not going to happen.
Oh,
so
gutted.
So if he's telling me it's not going to happen, I'm going to believe him.
All right. So, well, only time will tell for sure. Death Stranding. It'd be interesting to see some gameplay on that, because I'm really confused as to what the hell that game is. That's weird.
I'm going to put it out there. I don't think gameplay's going to help you there.
Yeah,
I don't
probably
think
not.
Playing the game's going to help you there.
No.
I finished it, and I still don't know what happened. That is weird.
I think you could Inception Kojima's mind, get in there, walk around, you still wouldn't help you.
It's a giant euphemism for something. I have no idea what.
Mind fuck. That's what it is. And this is official. This has been announced from Sony. Hold on to your butts. If you've got any LSD, pop it. Tetris VR.
No fucking way.
No, I'm not kidding.
Crack out the party drugs. Let's go.
Yeah, calm down. Snoogs, just calm down, mate. I know you're frothing for it, but it's a thing. It's real. What was that?
I'd love to have a crack at it, yeah.
Yeah, I would too, but
I haven't actually seen. I've heard about it and I've seen the ad for it, but I haven't actually seen any footage or the trailer or anything yet.
Oh, I have.
So, yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, Tetris VR, amazing. What are your hopes and dreams?
Well, I don't know about hopes and dreams, but I got a list of stuff that I wrote down that seems to be definitely on the cards or pretty solid as predictions go. So you've already listed some of them, but for PS4, you've got Death Stranding has been definitely locked in. Ghost of Tsushima.
Tsushima, yeah.
Not sashimi, the food.
Oh my god, that's a ghostly image of a piece of fish.
It is. It's the Iron Chef game. That's been locked in. The Marvel Spider-Man's been locked in, and Last of Us Part 2's been locked in. Xbox, like I said, they've been tight-lipped. So
come on, Xbox.
So I'm putting down as my predictions. We'll probably see Battlefield 5 on Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
If all goes the same, if Anthem's going to bring anything out, it'll be on Xbox like they did last year. Assassin's Creed Odyssey will most definitely be on the Xbox.
Oh, Metro too, Exodus.
Yep. And maybe Red Dead Redemption. Don't know. They'll probably stay in Rockstar's little page of wonders, but we'll see. Bethesda pretty much has Fallout 76 and Rage 2, and knowing that their things only go for about 40 minutes anyway, I'm pretty sure they can waste 40 minutes on 2 games without sweating it. Though they did say this is going to be their lock presentation yet, but what that means could be 42 minutes as opposed to 40. So
yeah, and they probably have Skyrim on some other platform.
Yeah, look, they'll waste time on a Skyrim Switch or something.
I actually think that with Bethesda, I've got a tiny glimmer of hope that it's another another Elder Scrolls game. So it's
maybe
like Elder Scrolls 6.
That would probably win E3.
Maybe a teaser for like next E3.
Yeah,
like
just with the fact
this
that
is
Fallout 76 isn't going down the same track that all the other Fallouts are going. It seems to be that there's, Rage it's been in development for a long time. It's getting pretty close to being done. I just think there's something else big in the background.
The only thing I think that could be bigger than Elder Scrolls 6 would have to be Half-Life 3.
God, could you imagine the meltdown?
Imagine that. The PC E3 thing would be worth watching.
Big puddle of geeks on the floor. You'd have to mop them up.
Gabe would be sitting there tweaking his nipples. Yeah.
With the portal.
Yep.
Bethesda would literally have to be handing out rates. Or just going, you're going to need this. You're going to need this. You're going to need it. Then there's Activision. So they'll have Black Ops 4 and the new stuff for Destiny. They've got the first Destiny 2, The Forsaken, is their next planned storyline. And we were just looking today, they've got big plans for the future. Big sort of game-changing plans for Destiny. Whether it's enough to keep people, for me, listening to it, I'm not full of hope, but we'll see. Ubisoft, the Division 2 is locked in.
Oh yes, keen on that.
So that'll be definite to look at. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is locked in.
Oh yeah.
For Honor is locked in. They're adding a new team to For Honor, so a 4th faction to play for. And then Assassin's Creed Odyssey is also on the list there. And then EA has Anthem, Battlefield 5. So those are the. There's lots of other ones. I didn't get a chance to list off Nintendo stuff, but obviously, got to catch them all and then let them go, Pikachu. And there'll be some stuff for the Switch, I'm sure. And look, who knows? Maybe a new Mario.
Yeah, I don't know about a new Mario, but maybe a Mario offshoot thing. Won't be a Mario game.
No.
There's one game that I actually thought more people would have been looking forward to. I haven't seen much about.
Team Sonic Racing? Hell no.
Was it Skull and Bones?
Yeah, that's been delayed too, hasn't it?
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah. The basically
other pirate game.
Pirate game.
Black
Flag without AC.
Correct. Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's what that one's about. I was excited when they announced that, but I haven't really heard anything about it. It's sort of
they've kept very quiet. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hearing there's some more footage to come.
Oh, nice. That would be good.
During it, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm keen on that.
I'll be keen for that for sure.
The other one I've been wondering about is CD Projekt Red. Do you think they're going to come out with some more Cyberpunk 2077?
That would be nice.
It's a possibility, but there will be something from them definitely. So if not
their
that,
Twitter's been
it's something else. Yeah,
they've been tweeting a little bit about something in the works, but whether that's Cyberpunk or not. Either way, I'm happy to hear from CD Projekt Red because they're always standout.
Yeah, they don't make rubbish.
Nah.
Well, other than that, I've got some information that Sony's released this week.
Yeah, go ahead.
Early hours of this morning, they released Tetris Effect, which is Tetris in VR.
Yep.
Tomorrow morning, they've got a release date for an upcoming Worldwide Studios title. And then Saturday, they're announcing a new PS4 game. Sunday, announce a new PSVR game. And Monday, details of an eagerly anticipated game comes to PSVR.
Ooh, and eagerly anticipated.
Pac-Man VR.
I'm not real sure about that one and what it could be. It could be Grand Theft Auto VR.
Oh gosh.
Oof. Is that really eagerly awaited?
Oh, I don't know. It'd be.
Are you really eagerly awaiting someone to come and bash you in the face with a big dildo?
No, not particularly.
See,
no, that's Saints Row.
I'm just telling you, both have dildo weapons. I'm just putting it out there.
So yeah, Sony's doing a bit of a build up. Microsoft's being very tight-lipped, but come this time next week, we'll know everything.
That's it. Yeah, we'll be doing a special E3 episode next week. We're just going to go through what we know, what we've heard, and clear up some of the rumors and what became trumors. Can't wait. That'd be cool. All right.
Anything? My division talk. I'll try not to be a mess on the floor.
Yeah, try not to be dribbling and spattering all over the place. All right. Any of you guys got any more that you're looking forward to for E3?
I'm curious about Odyssey, I have to say. I know I've already mentioned it, but it's very soon after Origins.
Yeah, I'm hoping they don't go back to their normal 12-month cycle and they start getting rubbish again.
Yeah, look, there's part of me that wants the 12-month and there's part of me that doesn't. But it is a different studio making it. So they sort of alternate between their studios, between Montreal and elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm intrigued to see how much they're going to say about it, considering their little presentation was very brief and very last minute as a teaser. I'm expecting they're going to say coming in 2020, But yeah, I'm curious for more of that.
The only other one I'm curious about is because of something that happened a few weeks ago. Scalebound popped up on the
Popped up on the what?
On the Xbox store.
Bullshit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So it popped up for a couple of hours. You couldn't click on it. And the artwork that was originally on there was taken down, but the main icon, the blurb, all that sort of jazz was all on there again.
Nice.
So that you can read whatever you want into it, that it was just a glitch or it's something that if it's still sitting there, why is it still sitting there?
So, bring that on. I'll happy to hear Scalebound coming.
Yeah. So that could be, another thing that's being held back, that someone's come along and picked it up and
they're probably like, oh, we've got a console that'll actually run it now. Let's put it out. Xbox One X exclusive.
Yep.
That would be
first one.
That'd be painful for Xbox people.
Yep.
All right. Are we good now? We good to move on or more?
I think so.
No, I think so. I like I said, my biggest curiosity is what first party stuff Xbox is going to bring out.
Yeah.
Just whether it's going to be Halo, Gears. It won't be Forza. It's too soon for another Forza. So.
Especially Horizon 4.
Or 5. That was leaked. We're just going to skip 4.
Yeah.
We're taking
skip 4. That's the big news.
It's the big news this year. We're just skipping numbers. So.
All right, well, we're definitely going to have plenty more E3 talk next week, so let's leave it there, and we'll move on
before we move on.
Right.
Everyone that's listening to this on Sunday, make sure you keep an eye out on the page and maybe over on Twitch. We haven't really discussed or decided what we're going to do yet, but Leekus and I will actually be in Sydney for the Xbox One.
Oh, right, yes.
Ooh.
Yes, we're going to Microsoft and Bethesda, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Lucky bastards.
Yeah, it's going to be red-eyed Leekus because we're going to be up at, what, 4?
4 o'clock, yep.
Yeah, make sure you pick me a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just give you the ones that don't fit us.
Just the Bethesda T-shirts. They're awesome. They're great.
Oh, my wife said the same thing. She's like, so I'm getting new T-shirts, am I?
That's it.
Alrighty. Awesome. Yes, we'll work out what we're going to do. We'll do something.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to the longest running segment. What's that sound? All right, so for last week's What's That Sound, let me just queue up here. So who got it?
Everyone.
I think
everyone got it.
Everyone got this one.
Everyone.
That's right, including me. When I was doing the editing, I got it also. But let's play it now. You can have a listen to last week's What's That Sound?
It's all over, but the cry.
There you go. That was last week's What's That Sound? And Snoogs, what was it?
Fallout 4 was actually from the release.
Announcement trailer.
Release trailer. Yeah, yep.
Yep, there you go. Fallout 4.
So, Zachary, Russell, Paul, Martin, Brindley, and Shadow Walker all sent us through correct answers for that one.
Wow, there wasn't quite a few people. All right, well, when I'm listening through doing the editing, I'll mark all them down and send them free games. Well done, guys. All right. And if there's outstanding people from previous weeks, Snoogs, let me know, and I'll shoot them some games as well.
Yep.
And also, for all those guys, since I did say last week, my thumbs up to you.
What?
You weren't listening last week when you were editing.
I was actually going to get you to do a selfie with the thumbs up, and I was just going to PM it to everyone.
Thumbs up to
you know what?
Which part?
We'll do that anyway. I mean, I said the thumbs up, but I'll do a mad thumbs up selfie, and I'll flick it to you, and you guys disseminate to winners.
Sounds good.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Okay. Quick. All right. Sure. It's time for this week's What's That Sound? So, have a listen. That's it. There you go.
Jeez. Is that like a montage, or is that like literally one?
It's one sequence in this game. I will admit, I have shortened it a bit, like as in a lot of those sound effects are usually further apart. But for the sake of it not going on twice as long as it did, I shortened it a little. But the sound effects are still essentially the same.
I know that.
Sounds like a puzzle game or something like that.
I'll play it again. Okay, that's it again. Has that got the old tickers thinking? Tickers? Isn't that the heart? I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
I
got nothing.
Cubit,
No.
Cubit sounds in the middle.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking, like puzzle, old school platformer kind of thing. Though it's not old school, because the sound effects are quite new. But it's sort of playing off nostalgia.
Yeah, a little bit. I see where you're thinking, where your thought process is going. But no, sounds like he's not sure. Well, if anybody playing along at home thinks they know what this week's What's That Sound is, then send us a message to our Facebook page. If you are correct or somewhat incorrect, you may find yourself the recipient of a free game. I don't really care if you're correct. I'm really just stoked that you listen to the episodes. Share it with your friends. But yeah, that's it. That's it for What's That Sound? Tricky one, maybe. Or maybe you guys just aren't listening intently enough to what I've been saying. All right, let's move on to this week's last words. All right, so last words. First up, we'll talk about who the f*** said that. Did you just have enough time to think about it?
Yep.
Well, I'll just say it again.
Was it Bioshock?
No, it wasn't Bioshock. It was, we impose order on the chaos of organic evolution. You exist because we allow it, and you will end because we demand it. It was originally an Xbox exclusive game, which is why I figured Greg and Rem would probably know about it.
I definitely know it, but what it is...
If I said that, without just giving it straight up, if I said the character's name was Sovereign...
Mass Effect.
Mass Effect, correct. That's right. That's where that is from. Mass Effect.
Beautiful.
Tricky one for those that haven't played it, but that's a bloody good set of games, those Mass Effect games. The original trilogy, amazing. All right. Now, in last words this week, I've made allowance to talk about the Facebook post that I put on today, probably a couple of hours before we started recording the podcast, and I basically said, add some comments before we start the podcast, and we'll read it out on the show. Didn't expect that we'd get so many, so we'll go through them. Graham Wright was first on it and said, Destiny 2 Forsaken update. Is that the latest update?
That's the one that's coming, yeah.
So that's the one we'll probably hear more about at E3.
Oh, okay. So this one isn't out yet, right? Okay.
No.
I don't know. What are we going to talk about?
So we've technically already talked about it as much as I can go into more detail. But,
no, it's fine, man. No.
To be fair, I think we'll do it better next week. So
we need an extra 20 minutes for that.
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother segment.
Leekus has put up on there that he thinks Grejio needs a Destiny 2 special podcast, so maybe we just need to do that.
Well, absolutely.
Maybe.
Happy to facilitate a special Destiny 2 episode. Would you be keen for that?
Look, I'm happy to do it. I think I'd just be reiterating a lot of what I've already said in the last podcast. But hey, I'm all good for it.
We'll see if the people want it. If you want Grejio to do to host a special Destiny 2 only episode of Aussie Games Express podcast, let us know, whether it's on Discord, whether it's on Twitter or on Facebook. Let us know. If it's wanted, he'll do it.
Can I put in a request?
You can put in a request.
Can I have Grejio interviews Grejio re-Destiny? A video interview?
Yeah.
I think we can do that.
Where I have to play both sides.
Yes, you have to interview yourself.
Oh. All right. If that's what the people want,
I can edit that.
Please want it, people. Please want it.
If it's what the people want. All right, but there you go. Thanks, Graham. We appreciate your comment there. Next one up, we've got Zach from Zachary Courtney. What are you hoping to see at E3 this year? We have already answered that one, haven't we? Let's pick one thing that you really the biggest game that you're hoping for. Like for me, obviously, it's Splinter Cell. What are yours? One at a time. You're breaking it's everyone just spoke at the same time. It sounded like silence. Yeah. Division 2 for Snoogs.
Division 2.
Yep. Greg?
it's toss up. Look, I already know I'm going to get with Red Dead Redemption 2, so I'm taking that off my list. I'm really keen to see what Rage 2 is going to be like.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. You were keen about that when we had got the original announcement.
Yep.
Rem?
I want to see more on Ghost of Tsushima. I've been curious about this for a while, and there was nothing really said in the last little while, so I'm keen.
Is that a samurai game?
Yeah, but it's done by Sucker Punch.
Yes.
Oh, Sucker Punch game.
Yeah.
Oh, we're definitely not getting a new Infamous.
Awesome.
They made Infamous, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That is interesting then, considering who's making it. Nice. Okay then. All right, let's move on to the next one from Brinley Skrill. Is that how you say that? Skrill?
That'll do.
We'll go with that. Thoughts on the Jurassic World game? Is it going to be good or bust? Do you think he's talking about that one that's not out yet, or the mobile?
Yeah, the one that's out next month.
Okay.
No, the one that's out next month.
It's a base building game, is it not?
Yeah, it's pretty much like Zoo Tycoon and
yeah,
it's a console version of that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I can't imagine it blowing us away though.
No,
it's built on a formula that's been done many times before. I think it'd be solid, but I don't think it's going to bring anything new to the table. Yeah,
that's exactly my thoughts. Yeah, but it'll be interesting the fact that it's dinosaurs in your park and all that sort of stuff that you're looking after. Yeah. So I think it'll be cool. I'll definitely.
Look, I think it'd be funny for the first 5 minutes feeding cows to the T-Rex, but after that, meh.
There you go. All right.
Might just turn the power off and let the dinosaurs run wild after a while.
That'll probably happen anyway. Aiden Joel has said Leekus and his Dark Souls remastered journey ? I don't play Dark Souls. I don't have the remastered, which is massively overpriced for an old game. Yeah, it's remastered, but I won't be playing Dark Souls remastered unless someone hands me the game and says, "Here, play this because we want to watch you play that." Not going to happen. Any of you Dark Souls fans?
No, but I do have an idea. If someone out there game wants to give to Leekus, what I will happily do is I'll set up a car battery with electrodes, and then every time he dies, I'll zap him.
Because you need punishment twice.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with me because I should be going, no, I'm not doing that.
Like, that looks amazing.
But I'm thinking, I like that idea. Let's do that.
That'd make a good segment, yeah.
Can we use alligator clips on my nipples?
If you like, wherever you like, but I just want to see how many times I can snap you before you lose your shit and go, that's it, I'm not playing this shit anymore.
With those kind of games, I probably don't need the electrodes. The game will probably do it anyway. All right. Next up, we got Brett Syker Blyat Hale. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name completely wrong. He just says, love balls.
I love the love balls.
Trust me, this week we've all been saying love balls.
Yes, love balls are fantastic. We even had the chef appear in last week's episode. All right, thanks, Brett. Next one is Lindsay Johnson. Thoughts on Vampire? That's due soon, isn't it? It's out now. I've seen it. It's available on Steam at least. And I've watched a little bit of the gameplay through live streams, and it looks kind of like The Evil Within 1, but like a budget version of it. It looks horrible. Anyone
It hasn't received glowing reviews.
Yeah, I don't even know what the reviews are like. I've just seen it myself and thought, oh, that looks crap.
Pretty much the vein is they're good reviews, but it falls. Like it's a decent game, but it falls short of what it wants.
Yeah, look, I mean, it might be a good game, good story, and all that, but it doesn't look very good. You know, like wooden animation, poor, like not up to par graphics for what I was kind of expecting. Yeah, I'm not terribly upset that I haven't played it yet from what I've seen. Doesn't look that good. All right, Bryden Wally Hannaford. He says, Are we sure to be disappointed with Fallout 76, or do you believe that it might be the game changer we are chasing since Bethesda promised to keep single-player games alive?
Ooh, that's a big ask.
I'm fairly simple with these games. I don't have the history with Fallout that, say, Greg does, so I'm not the kind of person who's like, oh, they've destroyed what used to be a good game. I enjoyed 4 because I don't know any better, and I'm excited for 76.
Fallout 76, if you believe that Fallout 76 is going to be a single-player story, I really do feel...
You'll be disappointed. You don't think it'll be a single-player story?
I don't think it'll be single-player. I think it'll be an online survival game.
Oh.
I just think that's where it's going. The Fallout world can work with that sort of thing. It just depends on how they do it, but I don't think we're going to get a fully fledged Fallout game out of it.
Am I the only one who feels like Fallout 76 is basically Fallout ESO?
Oh.
Yeah.
I sort of feel like that's the direction that might go. If it does end up being online co-op or multiplayer, all I can see is Fallout ESO.
Yeah, that's
maybe
a good way to think about it. Or Fallout Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
Oh man,
No,
I can't wait for Monday. I really can't wait.
It's not going to be a fob.
It's not going to be a what?
It's not going to be a fob. It's not going to be a fob.
A fob?
No.
Yeah, fob.
What's a fob?
Fallout Battlegrounds.
Oh.
It's not going to be a fob, right?
Yeah, because fob's something else where I come from.
Yeah, trust me. It's not going to be that either.
I'm talking about the watches, you know, those little things that you wear in your pocket.
Yeah, I knew what you were talking about.
Anyway, we will find out on Monday. It's not far away. What is today? It's Thursday. So, and if you're listening to this on Sunday, it's only tomorrow. So hold on to your butts. All right, and the last one we've got here was Paul David Clennett, good old Cleno. What you guys think of the upcoming Atari VCS? Looks sexy, but the $300 is a big ask. I mean, it's an Atari console for $300. It plays old Atari games. It plays newish games, and does like a whole bunch of other stuff, sort of like set-top box stuff where you can watch YouTube, Netflix, and all that sort of stuff. $300 is very expensive. I don't know if that's 300 Australian or 300 US.
Either way,
I wouldn't be touching it for 300 Australian.
No.
Just for like $300 Australian, you could go buy yourself an old Atari system and a TV that'll make it work on it, and still have $290 left.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of it, and it looks good. That's too expensive. What about you, Pat? You sounded like you were going to say something then.
Pass.
Oh, pass. Oh, sorry, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, no.
I think that's unanimous there. We're all passing on that. All right, well, that's it. That was the last one there. Thank you very much for Guy. I just thought of, on the whim, I'll put up a post and see if you guys want to be part of it. And we got some really good comments there. Thank you very much to all that participated in that one. Any of you guys got last words?
Definitely.
Go ahead.
So, Pat, you spoke about Agony.
Agony?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I sat down and watched some gameplay of that.
As
and you
did
said you said that this would be like right up my alley. I don't know what kind of twisted bastard you think I am. But you're pretty close. I'm going to swear.
And
that is one dark, screwed up game. I'm just putting it out there. I understand why it got refused classification. I'm just putting it out there. It's pretty gruesome, and even on just a superficial glance at this thing, it's pretty gruesome. From what I heard,
it's not refused classification, is it?
Yeah, that was the whole point.
They had to tweak different things with it, but it's
remove the genitals.
Because it's available on Xbox and PlayStation, isn't it?
Yeah. Because what happened was the digital releases ended up coming out anyway, but the physical got pushed back.
Oh, okay. I've watched a little bit of it, and it's a bit gross, but I've seen some reviews on it as well, and apparently the gameplay is really poor. There's a lot of padding. Well. There's a lot of padding in there where you're just repeating the same sort of mundane crap. Whereas if they took out all that stuff, it'd actually be a pretty cool game. But apparently it's frustrating and slow and, just...
And the other thing that actually, after about an hour of playing it, all the things that kind of shock you in the beginning, you just start to become sort of accustomed to. And it becomes quite bland as well. Like, just all the gore and that's just thrown at you just eventually becomes quite bland, and you kind of get over it and just ignore it after a while.
Desensitization, gotta love it.
Yeah. So yeah, there was that. I have to apologize to everyone. I promised them a game this week, and we haven't got around to it. I was ready. It was ready to go. We just didn't get it together. So
E3 talk instead.
We did an E3 talk instead. So PlayStation, Xbox, it is coming.
Probably in 2 weeks' time, because we're doing a special next week. So the week after. It happens. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. No biggie. I know our audience. Our audience is really cool and calm and collected. They'll forgive you.
Yeah, no, but I should still apologise because I did promise.
Yeah, they're cool, but I'm not, so you're out. You're fired.
Yeah, cool. Well, just for all intents and purposes, let's make this as transparent as possible. You wrote the order in which we do things, and you did leave the game out. I'm just saying.
If you're going to put it on me, I wrote several messages to you over the last couple of days, and you never replied to any of them.
This is true. I haven't replied to anything in the last couple of days. I think my message count on Discord alone is at like 56.
Yes. Now, I'm happy to forgive you for that, but don't put it on me, because then that forgiveness is going right back. Right back. Right back.
Nope.
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 All right, anyone else got last words?
Yeah, anyone who's on PC, get on over to Steam and download Totally Accurate.
Sorry, that cut out. Totally Accurate.
Battlegrounds.
Totally Accurate Battlegrounds.
Yeah, it's a parody of the whole Battle Royale genre.
That sounds amazing.
Was released on the 6th of June, and for the first 100 hours that it's live, it's free.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's still free here. Totally Accurate Battlegrounds.
Yeah, so I've got it.
Okay.
Looks funny.
I got it downloading now.
Have a crack.
How big is it? I'll tell you how big it is. It's only 1 gigabyte.
Yeah. So it's it looks quite funny from the stuff that I've seen about it. But so what'll that be? Monday, Tuesday, it'll swap over to being $4.99 US, but for now it's free.
Yeah, nice. All right, I'll check that out. Cool. All right. Any other last words?
Nope. I'm good.
Oh, I think we're finished. All right. Well, that's it. Thank you very much to everybody who's listening to the podcast. Thank you very much specifically for getting this far through the show. And what else do I normally say?
This week's code word is cookie cutter.
Cookie cutter. Ah, very good. Yes, I was thinking about that earlier in the week, and you remembered. Good work. You're rehired. Okay, cookie cutter. Put it in Discord or Facebook or somewhere, and don't write anything else. Just write cookie cutter. We'll know what it means, and we'll be appreciative. All right. Oh, well, I don't have anything else to say. Make sure you follow us on everything that's social media, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram.
You're out of practice.
I know.
He's out of practice, isn't he?
It's been 2 weeks. I don't even remember. I don't even remember what I normally say here.
Follow us on all the Insta-medias.
Insta-media chats.
all the medias and internets.
That's it. All right, that's it. Thank you very much. I have been Leekus.
I've been Remutha.
I've been Grejio.
And I have been Snoogs.
Hey, you got your rightful spot back at the end.
Good on you, Snoggans.
Screw this, Snoogs. You're hosting again next week. Well, here we are once again at the end of this week's show. If you're still hungry for more video game content, then head over to the Aussie Gamers Express Facebook page and give us a like. We also have a heavy presence over on Twitter and YouTube, and their links are waiting for you in the podcast description. This podcast is available for your convenience through Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, and more. Thanks again for listening. Catch you all on the next episode of the Aussie Gamers Express Video Game Podcast.